Good morning. Testing 1 2. Can I be heard? Good morning. I don't know if I can be heard. I can't even see my face. I'm going crazy right now. But good morning, everybody. Start of the week. It's Monday morning, 9:15. Realist, can you hear me? I don't know why I can't be heard. I know I can be seen, but I don't know if I can be heard. One, two, three, 1 2 3, 1 2 3. Where's my audio saying that? What is going on here? Let me end the stream. I don't know. Can you hear me, Realist? Put a one in the chat if you can hear me. If so, I can just go ahead and speak, but I don't even know if I can be heard. All right. So, since I can be heard, let me go on ahead and start then. Forgive the delay. I was over here tripping over here. You know what I mean? But yeah. Copy that, Realist. No, I just really wanted to talk about, the things that we have, a lot of us, when we was born with gifts. And for some of us, it took a while to tap into the gifts, discover the gifts. And I'm saying gifts plural because, a lot of we were born with many attributes. We was born with, you know, besides the hands and legs, fingers and toes, we was born with gifts. And, whether it's singing, drawing, poetry, we have all been instilled with these things. But the one thing that we was also given was the abundance of said gift or gifts, depending on, what you found. And I just believe that, God placed that within us, and that automatically makes us a storehouse. Now we know, biblically, a storehouse is where tithes and offering was to be placed within a church, a community, or whatever. But we forget that God dwells in us, and because He dwells in us, because we are spiritual beings, and that's where our gifts dwell at, He made us a storehouse because He gave us an abundance of things. Abundance does not mean financially rich for those that hear this down the line, but it means that you have a lot of. So it is safe to say that it is wealth. We have wealth within us. Like, we have wealth of knowledge, we have wealth of understanding, we have wealth of love, we have wealth of peace. Whatever God has installed in us. Well, He's installed a lot of things in us, but some of them have not been found or been displayed or been used. But since Realist is here, Realist is an understanding. He understands music. That is what his content is. So we believe that is his abundance of understanding music, his abundance of articulating what lyrics are being played, whether it's here on YouTube, radio, TV. I know you try, but you do well, Realist. That's why you have that gift. That's why you have an abundance of it. But because you have an abundance of it, you are a storehouse. You are a storehouse because you are able to attain a lot of that information and be able to give back to people that comes and contacts you and knock on your door, not physically, but Realist, what does this mean? Realist, what does that mean? Etc., etc., etc. Right? A lot of us on YouTube has to understand we are a storehouse because we have an abundance of whatever we're trying to display that we have, right? Like me, I try to be a positive person. So I believe that God has allowed the abundance in me to be able to give back. The first thing that we have to understand with the storehouse is that it's for the people. And if it's for the people, it's for them to come, even if they don't ask for it, they should know that it's available to them. We have to allow people to say, you know what, I need help. I need help in that department, whether it's with Realist music, with me, positive, conversation, spiritual conversation, whatever it is, they have to understand that it is available for them. They have to want it more than they have to need it more than they want it, right? And it's for us, the content creators, it's for us to understand that we need to be available in that particular aspect. We have to understand that because we're a storehouse, that people may lean on us a little bit more than we may want them to do, right? But it's okay, because at the end of the day, we're here to help. We're here to improve. We're here to add. We're here to be here for some people. We're not just doing this. Well, some of us are not just doing this to make content. So, within the storehouse, right? You got your abundance. You got your gifts, right? You could be understanding. That's a gift that's a gift in the storehouse. You can be righteous. That could be a gift in the storehouse. You could be entertaining. That's a gift in your storehouse. Whatever you do, God has placed that in your storehouse in abundance. So now like I said, we have to understand there are people in need of this stuff. Whether it's common sense, which, seems to be at an all-time low, we need to bring that out the storehouse and give that to some people, because at the end of the day, the things that they need, they should be able to find. And if it's within each and every one of us, we need to give the display or give it out to those that really, really needs it, or in these cases want it. Now we understand that wants and needs are two different things, but the fact that there's lack of it is even more disheartening, because it's sad, it's sad to have these gifts. It's sad to have all of these things, and nobody seems to want to acknowledge that they need it. I don't know how people can go through daily activities not wanting, peace, happiness, love, joy, etc., but only want the chaotic side. It's it's very sad that you can have 1,000 people that want chaos, but two or three people that could be in your chat wanting, you know, the positive things in life. And me being me, I feel like I have so much to give, but I won't consider this, a waste of time. I understand that the race is not given to the swift nor the strong, but to those who endure. And sometimes you have to endure having so much in your storehouse, because you want to give, you want to give it, you want to give it, and not everybody beat down your door. Well, here's the thing. If nobody's beating down the door, I can hang a sign on the door, say, I am available. I can sit there and say, come at your own pace, because I know I'm doing things for the right reasons. I know I have a lot to give, because it is in my storehouse. It is packaged and ready to be delivered or received. However you want to take it. I can't come to everybody's door, so I can't deliver it, but I can deliver it audio wise. That's what YouTube is for. That's why podcasts. That's what voice messaging. That's what those things are for. I am here to do that. I have the patience to do that. Patience is also in a storehouse, because at the end of the day, not everybody has that. It may be in you, but if you don't stir your gift, if you don't understand that, hey, that's already within me, you won't know what to look for. We got to stop going with the confines of human nature and just, well, as soon as something happens, I can go to my natural self. No, you got to stir up your gifts, whether you consider it spiritual, whether you soulful, whatever. It's within each and every one of us. And for those of us that are doing content, we need to understand that we are a storehouse for that reason, because we are blessed to have all the tools that we need in abundance to be ready to hand it out to somebody, or verbally give it to somebody, and spiritually instill it into somebody. I understand that there's a lot of people in this world, right? It's just like a prayer, right? If you pray for somebody, they got to receive it. You did your part, you prayed it, but now they have to receive it. And so too, this is what I'm doing now with this storehouse. I'm telling people that it's available. I'm showing people that I am willing to give it to the ones that want it the most. And so it's not up to me that has to receive it. All I have to do is give it out. But I want you content creators to continue to push, even if if it's a slow movement. Your numbers may not be moving. It may not be moving as fast as you want, but it only takes one person. If you affect one person, you're doing your job. But just remember that you still have a storehouse, so you have the abundance to touch other people. But right now it's like it's not working. It may seem slow. It may seem nobody's paying attention. It may seem that no one wants it. There's a place for each and every one of us on this thing. That's why we're here. If God led you to have this conversation like he did with me, if God allows you to have your content ready to roll, you just got to be ready. Real estate is a process, but a doable process. Yes, it is, and he's right. Right? It may seem impossible, but it is doable. Just like we gotta take our steps one step at a time. We put our pants legs on. We put our pants on one leg at a time. We have to take our time. It's not going to happen overnight. If Rome wasn't built overnight, why should we expect people to just come running to the storehouse? We have to understand that a lot of people have pride and they won't ask for the help. We just have to make ourselves available. Because of the abundance of the storehouse, you will always be available. But you have to remember that you got to be patient as well. You have to remember that I'm doing this for the right reason, and I can't get ticked off because it's not going my way or my pace or my speed. We're doing this because we are in the generosity of helping people. Within us is the ability to help. And we have to understand that everybody may not be ready. Whether it's to receive the information, to understand that somebody's here with open arms, with no strings attached. Whether it's just to be available for somebody. What's the catch? Everything doesn't have to come with a catch. But because we live in this world where everything has to be, one hand washes the other, why it just can't be because we generally want to see people do better? Why is it that we can't, just want the best for you? Because you are a person that I can see good things in. And I want to help you because I have things to give. My storehouse is overflowing with generosity and help and kindness and love. There is no string attached to it, but I understand that people will feel that way. I understand people are waiting for me to, slip up and ask for something in return. I don't think it's going to happen because I know me, because I know my heart, and I know that God has told me if you can do something for someone, you go ahead to do it. We know the expression, do unto others as you were done unto you. Sometimes we just don't want nothing in return. We want to see you flourish. I want to see you flourish. I want to see you prosper in whatever you're striving for. If you're striving for a new lease on life, I want that for you. How can I help you? Because I have so much to give because I understand that I'm a storehouse. I understand the content creators that listens to me and I them. They're storehouses. They're a storehouse of information, a storehouse of wisdom, a storehouse of positivity. We all need that in this world. We all need that today. We all need the encouragement. For example, today is Monday. For a lot of people, this is the start of a work week. And even though some of y'all may be heading to work, it's like, I don't feel like going. Now, just a simple thing is good morning. Be encouraged. We can get through this day. It might uplift somebody just by me just saying that. That's in the storehouse. It's called kindness. It's called being compassionate. We all have these in within us. That's why you're a storehouse. And if we are content creators and doing these for the right reason, that's what we're supposed to do. That's what we're doing. Whether it's now 9 a.m. or even if somebody just pop up at 6 a.m. and say, hey, good morning. I just wanted to, encourage somebody. It's within us. We have to understand that it's there. We have to understand that what good is being a storehouse and not being able to give it unto other people. There's a lot of people that come on the airwaves, these YouTube airwaves. I'm not gonna call it streets; these are airwaves because you can hear the voice, and the voices have meaning. Those voices have encouragement or wisdom, or love, or peace, or harmony, whatever they have. It's something that is within them that is could flow out of them with abundance because they understand that they're a storehouse. A storehouse is nothing that is nothing but things that is stored within for a reason for it to be given out. And right now we are in need of that. We are in need of it because energy is down, love is down, compassion is down, and it's down by a large amount. And maybe people are saying, well, how do you know? Because all you have to do is just sit back and observe. If you sit back and turn your TV on, there's wars, there's rumors of war, there's anger, there's frustration, there's malice, there's people trying to run away from something, there's people trying to run away from one place to try to start anew somewhere else. That sounds familiar to some of us. We've been in those shoes. We ran that race. We've been in those boats. We've been trying to, we made, some of us have made it. Our experiences is in the storehouses as well. Our experiences of overcoming is in the storehouse. Some of us have overcome some major, major situations. And I ain't even going to dwell in some of them, whether it's a loss of a parent, whether it's overcoming depression, overcoming physical assaults, all types of assaults, mental, physical, emotional, abuses, all of those things. Some of us have overcame all of that. Some of us may call it a testimony, but God has given us the strength to overcome it. That's the point. And when God gives you something, he can give you an abundance of it. So that's why you become a storehouse. You overcame being without a home. Some people have now left the streets and found an apartment. God has blessed you with the roof over your head. God has blessed you with people around you that actually cares and not just using you, whether for your money, whether for your beauty, because you look good, because you're smart, you're business savvy. God has brought around you people that wants to see you flourish. And because you can flourish, you have to understand you have that in abundance. So people may flock to you. People may run and just ride your coattail with the blessings of overflowing your gifts. But that's why we need a storehouse. We got to store it up. We can't just give it out to any and everybody. We can't just here, pass this out. This is not a flyer. This is strength. This is life. In the storehouse is life too, because our words is life. The Bible says, bring all the tithes into the storehouse where there may be meat in the house. Sometimes the meat is your words. In scripture, the meat is the word of God, because we understand that the word has life. Words have life. So we got to store it up and give it to those that need that meat, that need that word of encouragement, that need that word of understanding, uplifting. What's the point of having it if you're not going to share it? And being generous, it's not about you. If you understand it's not about you, you remove yourself. You put your ego to the side and you go on out there and help who you can. I understand we can't save the world. I understand that not everybody wants it. But we just still have to put it out there. We still have to display that the storehouse is available for the ones that do. It may take them time to say, you know what, I need help. I need something out your storehouse because I don't have it. Not that you can't afford it, but you don't have it. It's a different from affording and I can't attain it, because there's no price in receiving something from a storehouse. There is no price. Our price, the giver's price, is that you receive it and use it wisely. You receive it and allow it to enhance you. That's why we give it away. When you see people online for food, they're looking to eat. They don't have it. Now, if they're doing it out of greed, then so be it. That's not our decision to make. Is it creepy? Yeah. Is it wrong? Absolutely. But that's not our job to deter. If they come to you and ask you, hey, do you have any advice for me? What do you think about A, B, and C? Because we have room in the storehouse, because the storehouse is available, you give it to that person. And you say, you know what? I hope this helps you. That's why a lot of us ends up in our lives. Well, I hope our word, can be a helping to you, and we sign off, because we understand that there's people that need help, and a lot of our storehouses is very available to provide that help. But we have to understand that we're a storehouse, just like we had to understand in the last episode that we were influencers. We have to understand, in order to influence somebody, we have to know that within us, we are able to bring it out, and we're able to give it to the people for them to be influenced by our words in the right ways, I hope. Not in no other way but being right, or allowing it to be a plus in your life. There is a lot of us. Like I said, there's Realist, there's The Word, there's Meek, there's Shayla, there's Tay Eats, Antisocial. The list goes on. Maritza, Selena, it's Coco BX, Tough Love. There's so many of us that do this. And for the most part, we're all saying the same thing. We want to see you win. We want to see you flourish. We want to see you improve or increase in your goals that you set forth in each and every one of your lives. But in order for us to do that, we have to understand that we are a storehouse, and we cannot allow ourselves to run empty. We have to do our parts too. We have to go out there and refuel. You can't give nothing out if you don't have it. But because we're storehouse, we have to continue to store. We have to continue to take in information to help the people. Hey, you can get this home with a 500 credit score. Hey, you can get this loan with a 450 credit score, whatever the number is. But if it's for you to obtain, if we have it in our storehouse, we should be able to give it out. We are storehouses. God has blessed us with intel. with information, with the gifts that he's given us and we just have to just give it back out. At the end of the day, we are here to help. We're not here to hinder. If you feel like I'm hindering, I would have no problem with you unsubscribing, because that's not what I want. I want people to understand that I'm here to help. If you need, like, for example, if you need a prayer, hey, can we pray? Sure, why not? It's been plenty of times I've sat here and said, listen, if I'm the last person on the planet Earth that you want to talk to and vent or whatever, have a conversation, I am available. That comes from the storehouse too, because you have to understand everything that God gives you, he's going to give it to you in abundance. He's not going to give you a ounce and tell you to give out 4 or 5 ounces, because that's not God. God is going to give you what you need. And sometimes it's going to be in abundance. We're not going to be like the lady with the oil, just make this amount of, no, we're not that. We're not going to be the lady that's going to give the offering of 2 pennies. No, because God gave us a storehouse because we have abundance in the storehouse. There's no sense of having a storehouse if there's only one item in it. It's no sense of building a big house with one person in it, right? If you need a 1-bedroom for yourself, you may think you're going to get a guest, so you might get another one. But you don't go, I'm going to go buy a mansion and I live by myself. No, that makes no sense. You got to understand, if you're gonna have that, if you get a big old house, you're gonna need people to fill the house. Who buys a house and don't go into none of the rooms that's not in use? That makes no sense. You must be expecting people to come visit you, or you must be expecting somebody to, you know what I mean? They got to come through some way, shape, or form. But when you have a storehouse, it's to give back. That's what a storehouse is for. If anybody remembers the 10 Commandments, the movie with Charlton Heston, he goes around, he busted the storehouse open, like, y'all tripping. Y'all got all this in the storehouse and these people are out here starving. That's us. We got all this information. We got all this knowledge, all this wisdom. And there's people out here that's looking for it. It's no good to store it up. It's only good to give it out. Wisdom and knowledge it doesn't go rotten. It can't go. It can be old, but it will never rot. It's like honey. Honey is the only food that doesn't go bad. Neither does wisdom and understanding. Neither does peace and love. It can't go bad. Only if you add some negativity to it can it not taste its natural self. It can't be its natural being. Only if you do that. But it can't go rotten unless you do that. And there's people out here that needs that love. There's people out here going through something. There's people that want to know how could they improve themselves. Open up the storehouses. Give on back. Am I expecting a blessing? No, I'm not. I just know that there's people out there that need my storehouse to be open, whether it's a kind word, whether it's a spiritual word, whether it's just a ear for them to vent to. I don't know everything. Let's put that disclaimer out there. I am not all knowing. I am not the creator that knows all things. I'm not him. What I can offer is everything that God has given me, because I know that he's given me an abundance of it. And you just don't carry an abundance of wealth with you everywhere. You need a storehouse for it. You need somewhere to place it. That's just like who walks around with $1 million? You put it in our bank. Well, that's what our storehouses is, our bank. We have a bank of wealth. The storehouse is wealth. It's not a financial thing. Please understand that. That is not what just abundance means. Abundance means wealth. Yes, it do. but it doesn't mean financial. You can be spiritually wealthy. You can be physically healthy. There's people out here that's been living 25, 30 years with maybe one cold a year. They might get a cold once a year. But other than that, they ain't never sick. That's wealth. You got health wealth. That's wealth. You sitting there, we listen, we just got through a pandemic. We seen over a few million people die because of this pandemic. Your health was your wealth if you made it. Your immune system fought it off if you caught it. And if you didn't get it, you got that health to where it didn't even affect you. That's wealth. But guess what? We got to go forward. Okay, somebody else might catch it. Okay, well, if you caught it, listen, it's suggested that you take vitamin C, D, K, zinc in order to fight it. We're trying to keep you healthy. We're trying to keep you in the land of the living. You put that information in your storehouse. That's an abundance because somebody didn't have it. You have room to give it to somebody because they may need it more than you do. That's what the storehouse is for. You give the information to those that need it. If they want it, that's a good look too. But we're here for those that need it. And right now, there's a lot of people running around that need these words of encouragement, these peaceful words, these generous times that we make ourselves available to people. Our time is valued too. And whether our time may be limited, but that's in the storehouse too, because you could be doing something else with your time. But there's people here, okay, what does he have to say? Maybe his word can help me. Maybe Realist's word can help me. Whoever's here, they can help me. They're listening for a word that could add to their life or add to their day or pick them up in a bad day. Because not everybody's going to have a sunny day. It's not going to be sunny 365 days a year. It's going to be rainy days. If you in those regions, it's going to snow. A hurricane may hit. There's a storm coming somewhere. We put the excess in the storehouse just because if we make it, we can go on with our day, with our life. We gotta be ready for it. Some people don't have the tools to be ready for it. That's another thing. That's what the storehouse is for. Hey, listen, I might need a grain of rice. There you go. Hey, do you got that seed to plant that good fruit? There you go. I have it in abundance. Your word is in the storehouse because it can give life. That's what we do here. We give life. We add. We don't take away. If we do take some away, we take away the negativity. That's the only thing we want to take away. We just want the good to be not blocked by the negativity. That's why people come on here and say the things that they say. That's why we have content. If your day is bad, there's people that we're going to just play music for 2 hours and let you zone out and get away from those thoughts that had you in rage mode, that may have had you depressed, that may wanted you to give up. We are a storehouse because we have those tools to be of assistance to somebody. We have the tools to say, hey, take this and be blessed. Now, don't get me wrong. We know there's people that got a storehouse full of nonsense and foolishness. I would call them hoarders because it's not even helping them with nothing. You doing that for self-gratification. That's what you do. Hey, Diane, good morning. You do that. That's what you're doing that for. You're a hoarder. You got a storehouse full of nothing. You, it's not even going to be productive. Who's going over there to? There's nothing for you to give out because nobody's going to want it. They're going to call that junk. People going to view that as junk. I'm not coming for junk. People don't come to us for junk. They come to us because they understand they may receive something that may help them throughout their day, help them throughout their week, help them in that very moment. Because God has blessed us to be storehouses. We have to understand that what God gives us, it's not just for us, it's for other people. Let it flow out of you. The same way you could flow nonsense, it's the same way you could be productive in the right aspects of life. But you have to understand that you're a storehouse. You have to understand that whatever gifts you have, it's not just for you. An artist is not just drawing paintings for himself. A poet is not just going to write poetry for himself or herself or themselves. They're going to do it because they understand it's a release for them, and it may help somebody else because they understand that gift, they have an abundance of it. So now it's time for them to give back. You need it, there it goes. Excuse me, if you understand what I'm saying, it's for you. If you don't understand, if you share it to somebody else and they understand it, that's a plus. I get it. We're not, like I said earlier, we may not be here to save the world. Y'all know what I say all the time. It only starts with one, because we know one can win 1,000. Which one of y'all is going to receive it, and which one of y'all is going to say, hey, this is what I got from the storehouse of Realist, or the storehouse of Diane, or the storehouse of Gary. This is what they gave me. I'm still here because I got it from them. So we have to understand that's what we're here for. Whatever content you bring, whatever you speaking about on your channels, understand that you are a storehouse of wisdom, a storehouse of understanding, a storehouse of love. We're not doing this just because people are clamoring up and they got everything that they need. If they had everything that they need, there wouldn't be so many sad people. It wouldn't be so many miserable people. It wouldn't be so many people of a depressed state or mentally unable. Good morning, Watermelon. We have to understand we are a storehouse because that is what is within us. Your gifts is in abundance. Your gifts is here because you have to display it for people. You have to give it to these people that needs it. Whatever it is. We all have one. And this is not just for people that make content. Everyday life. You're still a storehouse. God has given you something just for you to give to somebody that you may encounter on your way to work, on your way to the store. Wherever you're going, you're still a storehouse. It's not just for YouTube. It's for every one of us. I'm talking about the content creators because this is who normally comes through. Rachel, good morning. Hope all is well with you. You're a storehouse. You have an abundance of wealth that's within you. And for those that's coming in, I'm not talking about wealth of financial. I'm talking about wealth of what's inside of you. If you're kind, that's you have that in abundance. If you're patient, you have that in abundance. If you're loving, you have that in abundance. You have all of that. Right? Knowledge and wisdom. Correct, Diane. That's in abundance. But you have to, if you have abundance, you have to place it somewhere. And if it's within you, you are a storehouse. Now, the only thing is, for those that's just coming in, because you're a storehouse, you give it to those that's in need of it. You don't keep it for yourself. What's the point of having wisdom and understanding, Diane, right? If you don't give it to nobody. You don't have it. So it is what it is. If you just store it up for what? Like I said, to me, that's hoarding. You're a hoarder if you do that, because only you in your mind is gaining from it. But if you have that wisdom or understanding, if you have that love and kindness, if you have that peace and joy, it's going to come out of you anyway. Watermelon says she needs abundance of balance. Sweetheart, it's you are a storehouse of that already. You have to look within yourself, and it might be buried amongst everything else that you have in your storehouse. But you do have an abundance of balance. Right now, it may not feel that way, but you gotta search for it. You gotta move all of that other stuff that's in the way and find it. It's in your storehouse. I promise you that. You are not here to be miserable. I promise you. Discipline. We definitely have abundance of that. We still have, a lot of us have to find that too, Diane. You're right. We have to look within ourselves. Look, you're a storehouse. You got to look for it. You probably piled some things on there. Some of us may have to clean our storehouses. How about that? Some of us are putting things that are not even worthy of being in the storehouse. It's in there anyway. Some of us got to clean that out. Get rid of it. Marissa, good morning. Hey, how you doing? I hope everything's well with you, Marissa. May the doctor give you a good report, right? Some of us got to clean the storehouses out, though. Some of us put rotten food. They put rotten food with the regular food. You don't do that. A bunch of junk. You absolutely. Some of us got a bunch of junk in our storehouses. That's why we, all of us, have to examine ourselves. Examine what's in you. Examine your storehouses. Yo, that don't belong there. It's time for it to go. Get rid of it. It don't belong here. Only thing that should be in your storehouse is whatever you getting ready to give to the people that need it. Because we should have more abundance of that than nonsense, junk, garbage. Like I said, if you got junk, garbage, that's hoarding. And listen, y'all go ahead and find a TV show, Hoarders. You go ahead and look at that house. Y'all tell me they don't have abundance of nothing, abundance of junk. It'd be so junky in there. Yo, the people be ready to come take their houses away. Put them out in the streets because there's not you got a storehouse of junk. That's not what we're supposed to have. We're supposed to have a storehouse to be able to give to somebody else. Hanging on to what we've outgrown. Yeah, you're right, Watermelon. If you outgrown it, it's time to give it away. Throw it in the garbage. If it's a negative attribute, it's time to put that thing in a bag and leave it behind us. For the spiritual people, you throw that in the sea of forgetfulness. If we're trying to grow, if we're trying to help somebody, we can't bring a bag of junk with us. It's not productive. It's time to get rid of that. You got to go ahead and see what's in your storehouse. You should know what's in your storehouse. If you believe you have enough stored up in your house, you should be able to pull it out and say, this is what I have for you. I have love for you. I have peace with you. I have a word of positivity for you. The word of the day. Be still and let God go with you. God loves you. Whatever it is. We have that in abundance. That should be in our storehouse so that we can be able to give it to somebody. Like right now, if Marissa was to say a prayer for me, I would be able to pray the prayer for her because that's what's in the storehouse. We have these things to be able to supply the needs of people that needs it, whatever it is. Good morning, Tay. It's just that simple. The storehouse is for the people. It's not for ourselves. We give because we have it in abundance. We don't just close the storehouse because it's for us. That's not what it's for. We're supposed to be here to help, to uplift, to encourage, to share what's in your storehouse. Since Tay is here, Tay was out here, giving life numbers and telling you what those things mean. And for a lot of people, it made sense. She was giving from her storehouse, right? Watermelon gives from her storehouse when she makes her video live and, she's conversating and she's doing her thing with the makeup. That's her giving from her storehouse. That's what we're here for. We're here to be a blessing for people. We're here to add and not subtract. Like I said, if y'all feel like I'm not doing my due diligence, I can't be mad if you unsubscribe me. If they had the thumbs down button, I wouldn't be shocked if I had it down one of those reviews because I don't fit their narrative. And we already understand that there's going to be haters that's going to do that anyway, but we don't care about them people because those should be the minority. We can't allow the minority to be the majority because at the end of the day, if we're pouring out from the storehouse, we understand it's for the people that's in need. They're not going to be here selfishly, just wanting to take everything instead of helping that person that's in need. That's not what we do. That's not what none of these people in the chat do. This is not what, those that catch the replay. I promise you, that's not what we do. There's people out here that willing to give their last. So if there's people that's willing to give their last, if you are a storehouse, you have that in abundance. That should be no problem. You should be snapping. You should be jumping. Yo, let me give you a word of advice. Let me help you get to point A. And if we got to do it hand in hand, let's do it. At the end of the day, we are storehouses. We are here to give the abundance that God has given us to the people that need it, whatever it is. That's just what we do. That's just the positive energy that goes forward. If we're not doing that, what's the point of having a storehouse? What's the point of having these gifts if we're not going to be able to give it to those that are in need of it? I don't understand how people could be selfish with those gifts, selfish with the storehouses that they have. I don't even know how they do that. But that is not what we do. If God has given you all of these things to be a help, it's time for us to help. There's people that's out here crying for us. And if they ain't crying for us, we can sit back. We can wait. You cannot take it with you, Diane. You're right. You cannot take this with you. What's the point of having this? Thank you, realist. I mean, it's just crazy because, after listening, I listened to, Tay and Antisocial and the Word. I've been listening to them a lot. Shout out to the 9% because they have an understanding like, yo, we're not here just to be on YouTube. That's not what we're here for. We're here to add, right? And then there's people like Watermelon and Meek, like Gary, you have such a gift of being so encouraging, you might as well give it to the people. What if I would have said no? I would have been hoarding. I would be hoarding right now. I wouldn't be able to do this. You put your fears to the side, but then you say, you know what? That's another conversation. Me and Word gotta have that conversation. He don't believe in fear. I'm saying use the good fear. You can have good fears, right? Now, for example, if I was just to sit here and not use my storehouse, I would fear that it's going to contaminate me to be a rotten person. So to me, that's my good fear. I'm going to use that fear and say I don't want to be a rotten person. I'd rather be a person that's given, and then when you give it, your heart is content. You're giving cheerfully. When you have a storehouse, you should be doing it cheerfully. Your giving should be cheerful. Don't do it out of spite, because it won't that won't even resonate with people. It's like a sacrifice in the biblical days. You gotta be ready to sacrifice cheerfully. You gotta give up that ram, that lamb, that chicken, whatever you get ready to sacrifice cheerfully. That's why that woman got blessed when she gave her last 2 coins, because she did it cheerfully. Her love for God was so apparent that it didn't even bother her, that she was willing to sacrifice her nothing for just for the pleasing of somebody else. That does bring blessings to you. If you are 33, you are a master teacher. You came in with knowledge and you should share it. Well, thank you, Tay. I didn't I didn't even know I was a 33 to the other day. Right? But even with that, God has placed something in you and say, yo, you should be giving and not taking. You have an abundance of something, give it to somebody that needs it. Stop just taking that, stop just intaking information, stop intaking knowledge and just storing it. You become a hoarder if you just store it. No, the storehouse is for you. Okay. Just like I appreciate when you told me I was 33. Okay, now I understand why I am how I am, why I am such a compassionate, giving person, why I am willing to sacrifice my time for somebody else. You store these things and be able to give it away because you sacrifice your time to store it. You take the time to implant these things in the storehouse. Now it's time to give it away. You give it away. You are able to help somebody with no problems. You got to fear something, you might lose it. A flood or a fire can come up in your life. Yeah, you got to be able to understand that sometimes you can make the best out of a bad situation. And if you understand that you have the abundance of helping somebody get through those trials and tribulations, you should be able to do it. Right? If somebody was right, like I said, if somebody right now said, yo, I need a one-on-one chat, I have no problem with that. I'm going to allow you to speak and we can have the conversation from there. All you can do is hope that the person on the receiving end is willing to receive it. That's all you can do. That's why you give to people that's in need from your storehouse. Because like I said, as long as you store it for yourself, you ain't nothing but a hoarder. And we all know hoarders are selfish individuals. You cannot let your storehouse go to waste. You cannot let your gift go to waste. If you understand who you are in life, you will be able to articulate who you are in this life. And yes, there may be worriations and scary situations that may come up in your way, but overcoming is in your storehouse too. You can overcome those situations, and you have that in abundance. You will defeat fear. You will defeat all of those things. Why? Because you have an abundance of fearlessness. You have an abundance of overcoming. You have an abundance of being victorious over any and everything. You may lose a battle, but in your storehouse, you have enough of an abundance to win the war of whatever you fight. Your giant will fall if you understand that you are a storehouse of abundance. You will destroy the giant that's standing in your way. Whatever you think is holding you back, look into your storehouse. Find what's in your storehouse to uplift you into your victorious. If you do that, there's nothing stopping you. If you understand that the storehouse is for you, have an abundance of it. You can take from the storehouse, apply it to yourself, and then give it to other people. That'll knock any giant down. Whatever your Goliath is, you say you're David. I will be. God has made me David. I'm gonna knock this thing down. Faithful the size of the mustard seed. See, that's the thing. If you got faith, that's gonna that's gonna grow in your storehouse too. From faith to knowing there's no more doubt. I am here to help. I'm here to give to those that's in need because it's already in your storehouse. Continue to look into your storehouse. Everyone has one. All of you here have one. All of you that can hear this voice, you have a storehouse. You have an abundance of something. Some of us have an abundance of a lot more than just one thing. We just have to understand what it is. We have to stir up the gift. And whatever it is that's in your storehouse, you have to be ready to give it to those that's in need. And if you're going to be selfish with said storehouse in quotations, you ain't nothing but a hoarder. And you're going to choke within everything that you have because you don't want to give it. Y'all be careful with your storehouses. If you use it for good, you're a winner. If you use it just to store, you're going to choke yourself out. That seed is on cement ground. You know it can't grow. A weed is going to grow out and choke you. That's what's going to happen in your storehouse if you don't use it correctly. So, I just suggest that people understand. If you understand what I'm saying, be ready to use your storehouse. And if you gotta check what's in your storehouse, please make sure that you check for understanding, and whatever's not that doesn't belong in needs to go. That's what tithes is for. Yeah, my thing is this. I believe that, Diane, this is crazy because I was just saying I didn't want to say this because it might be controversial. People may say he's crazy, but I think that God tithes within us. A tenth for God is maybe an abundance for us, right? If he gives you 1/10 of understanding, that understanding could last you a lifetime. If he gives you 1/10 of peace, that'll last you a lifetime. That's why when people, those people that say they have the Holy Ghost, the Holy Spirit, if they have it, there's a peace that is going to take a while for someone to penetrate. That peace is so unmovable, it's going to take them a while to chisel a hole in for something to penetrate it. But that's 1/10 of God. Be quiet, Tay. I'm saying, if you put a seed, all right, I'll tell you what does a weed grow? What a weed chokes out the regular grass. It's a hindrance to the grass. It's choking out. It's taken from the grass. It's choking the very fiber of the roots for the grass. It's taken from it. So the grass turns brown and it dies. If you choke, you die, right? So it's the same thing. But that's what I'm saying. We got to make sure that there's no weeds in the storehouse. We got to make sure there's no garbage in the storehouse. We got to understand that we can't be placing two things together. If we put the two things together, the storehouse is not going to be worth nothing either. That's why you got to clean it out. That's why you got to examine yourself. If you examine your storehouse, you understand what's in there. You don't got to do a stockpile. Word, good morning. Right. And that's that's what I'm trying to, I'm trying to tell people that it's within us, right? The storehouse is within us. You ain't got to go no further than yourself. You got to understand what's being stored within you. You also got to go ahead and check to see what's there. There's a lot of us with plenty of gifts and attributes. You're right, Diane, got to pull it up from the root. We got to go ahead and examine what's in there, but we don't even know what we have a lot of the time. A lot of the time, oh, there's something in there. What's in there? Go ahead and examine it. Go ahead and see what's in there so you can say, you know what? I can give this to Diane. Willis, you can take this. This may help you. The word, this may help you. Watermelon, this may help you. Tay, this may help you. You got to understand that you have that in abundance already. You got to understand. That's what's in you. You just got to find it. There's a lot of people that don't understand that there's storehouses, and I understand that because, morale may be low. Morale may tell you, I ain't worth a hill of beans, but you are. And you have that. I don't think your gifts expire. The storehouse expires when you expire. Just like your gifts expire until somebody takes that from you, right? And a lot of the times it was funny because me, Tay, and the word, we was talking about the greatest of sacrifices, right? You got to sacrifice something in order to have the abundance in your storehouse. You ain't gonna hang out with your friends if you want the abundance of money. Now I'm gonna talk about money real quick. You want that financial wealth. You can't hang out with them people because you gotta be on your grind to get, get to that bag. Listen, when you ain't listen, we used to have an expression, make $1 out of 15 cents, right? If you trying to make $1 out of 15 cents, you got to understand that your grind is real and that your time is going to be the abundance of not being with you people. So my abundance of time is going to make this $1 out of 15 cents. That's what it's going to make me do. Even though time is limited, we still have an abundance of it. We just don't know when it's going to end. You got to understand that we don't have time to play. So we understand we don't got time to play. Whatever your abundance is, you gotta make it count. You got to make it count. And for this conversation, the abundance is not financial, but you're still wealthy. If you understand that, you can overcome a whole bunch of things. Like I said, there's people that have mental disabilities, physical disabilities, but they still have overcome it because they found something within their storehouse to bypass that disability. There's people in this chat that right now is going through something, but because they found a storehouse, they've overcome it. They bypassed it. They pushed it to the side. They may have turned that fear and they made a bad situation, the best out of a bad situation. But that's not up for us to decide. You got to know what's within you. You got to know what's in your storehouse. In the beginning, like I said, I was talking to content creators. But now the realization is not everybody that's here is going to make content. This could apply to everyday life. And I'm not just talking about content, people's lives. So that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to, whatever's in your storehouse, like I said, I'm gonna end it with this. Whatever's in your storehouse, whatever it is, y'all know your gifts. Like I said, if I go through each and every one of y'all, I'll do it like this. Realist, your storehouse is entertainment. You have an abundance of that. Whether it's music, conversation, whether it's being being a jokester just to put a smile on somebody's face. You have an abundance of that. You should use it. The word, you already know. You are your storehouse is an abundance of knowledge. Tay, yours is wisdom and understanding, right? Watermelon, yours is compassion, right? If y'all understand that that's what's in your storehouse, y'all already using it to the best of your ability. We know you're a fool. Listen, I ain't going to talk to you about that. We're going to leave that one alone, realist. Oh, all right. Tay, if then he's a hoarder. If he's being messy, he's a hoarder. That's what I'm trying to tell you. He hoarding. He need to clean that out. Diane says, like some people are welders. I am not, but I need a welder to come with what he knows. Well, then you don't, all right, you may need a welder to put something together, right? But the one thing that you ain't going to need, Diane, is somebody to set your foundation. Ain't no welder could do that. Only you could solidify your foundation. And that's one thing that you have, where it says, my pain is my muscle, my struggles are my hustle. Been living by that since I was 16. No matter what life gave me, I used it to my benefit. Yes, because we have to make the best out of a bad situation. For example, if I lost a loved one, right? That's my loss. Everybody gonna say my condolences. I'm gonna turn around and say I'm gonna make the best out of this because I'm gonna do what they think I should have done anyway. They're gonna tell me to, go ahead and live your life. Don't worry about me. I'm in a better place, or something to that extent. So, it's to that level to where you say you making the best out of that bad situation. But in order for you to make that best out of that bad situation, you got to understand that that's already within you. That's in your storehouse. If you understand that you are able to rise to the occasion of a negative attribute, you'll be fine. Sometimes I used to have to say to myself, I'm the occasion that those things must rise to, because I understand I have that much in my storehouse to where I may be what's overcoming that. It can't get past me. You see what I'm saying? But only if you understand that's within you. That's within your storehouse. That's what's within you. You can be able to stand. You can be able to say that. I will overcome. That's in your storehouse. I will succeed. That's in your storehouse. I will prevail. That's in your storehouse. I will overcome. All of that's in your storehouse. Can't nothing stop you but you. If you don't know that's in your storehouse, that's what's stopping you. Change will begin with the person in the mirror, right? In order for you to change, you must know what's in you for the change. That's in your storehouse. Everything that you need for life is already within you. You was born with it. That's why you're a storehouse. And like I said, we have to understand what that means. We have to understand that that is a fact. That's not no one's opinion. You don't need nobody to observe it. You need to know it. This ain't about faith at this particular time of being a storehouse. You got to know this. You got to know that God has placed this in you. You got to know that you was born with this. If you don't know it, then we got some work to do. And we got the storehouse ready for the work to be done. We have the abundance to be able to help you. Word says, yes, I honestly don't look at things good or bad. I just understand it exists. So I learn from it or move on from it. Might sound weird, but I have pieces of knowing. No, it don't sound weird. It don't sound weird because that's part of, overcoming. If it doesn't work for you, you throw it to the side. It's not, there's people that says if it's not going to help me, I'm not using it. It's okay. That's fine. So no, it's not going to sound weird. But that's what makes you, right? Your understanding may not be for everybody to know, but that's what's ever stored within your house, your storehouse. You know that you can wash your hands of any situation. You can say, "Yo, this ain't for me. I'm out." You dust your shoes off, you kick the dirt off your feet, and you keep it pushing. Just because you got a storehouse don't mean you got to be around everything. It doesn't mean that at all. It means that you go where you are needed. Because everybody don't need a storehouse. Everybody think they got it. I got it under control. Only when they understand that there's somebody here to help you will they come find your storehouse. Because they don't understand that the storehouse is with them. They're so grown that mentally they don't even understand that they have it within them. They stunt their growth. They think they know everything, so they're not going to understand that they're a storehouse. That ain't you though, word. You have the understanding like, yo, I'm still growing. Not growing physically, but growing, spiritually, mentally. And that's why it allows your storehouse to be available for other people. And that's the thing. If you're available for other people, there's going to be people that's going to say, "Hey, I need a peace of mind. How do I get that?" You'll be able to give it to them. Tay, she's vegan cooking. She the chef. That's why I call her chef. Hey, chef, how you make that vegan taco? Hey, I got nothing but time to show this to you. I can be very patient with you. Let me A, B, C, D, E. That's how you make it. That's her storehouse. We all have it. We just gotta know that it's available for other people. We gotta know what's in said storehouse. So that's why we have to continue to examine ourselves and see what we have. Diane said, hoarding, you can't take everything from people either. No, and that's the point. You only go to the storehouse if you need it. Like I said, if you go to a food pantry, you believe that you need it. Now, if you go in there for selfish reason, you're worse because there's somebody out there that's going to need that pantry food that they need it. You just go in there for one. But that's why, if you are a storehouse, you only trying to look for somebody that needs it. You put it out there like, I'm available. If you need me, I'm available. That's what the conversation's for. You got to tap into your storehouse. You're absolutely right, Tay. You got to tap into your storehouse and know what your gift is in the storehouse. You got to know before you can give it to somebody. Hey, what's this? I don't know. Let's see if it works together. That don't work. You got to know what you're giving to somebody. Hey, I'm giving you an alternative to all the processed foods. That's you, Tay. I'm giving you an alternative to all processed food. Well, what are you giving me? Oh, I don't know. Let's find out together. You can't do that because that's not what you do. If you're going to give the alternative, you got to explain what the alternative is. That's what you do, and you do that very well. That's why, people are not going to understand you because they don't want to understand you. They got to understand that you are that person with a storehouse. Okay. But I'm just saying, like at the end of the day though, like we have the capability. We have to have that all-knowing aspect of what's in our storehouse It's not for us, it's for others that are in need. Worse is I remember feeling weird because most things didn't affect me like most people, but I always emphasized with people. My grandmother always said I had a gift of seeing hearts. That is, but see, that's what I'm saying. That is in your storehouse. That's like that's there. You have an abundance of seeing through. Like people have an abundance of seeing through bullshit. Excuse my language, right? That's a gift one. But if you understand, you can see bypass all of that nonsense. That's in your storehouse. You have an abundance of sight, and that's crazy word because people are going. People might, yo, what are you talking about? He said he's literally blind. You don't need visuals. You don't need physical sight to see through bullshit. You got to have understanding. That's in the storehouse though. But people don't understand that. People don't understand that what's in there, what is given to you is for you to improve or bring that gift out just for you to give the abundance of the rest of it to somebody else. Yo, I see you pump faking. Nah, that ain't cool. Yo, let's just have this conversation. Let's talk about A, B, or C. You know what I mean? I see you ain't doing well. Yo, let me pray a prayer for you. You can see that without physical vision. You just have that abundance of seeing things. Yo, I see something wrong with you. Let's pray about this. Let me pray with you. You understand what I'm saying? That's just what it is. Thank you, Tay. And that's the thing. Like, that's. I didn't think I had it. I had the patience to do it. Or, like I said, when you have those type of things, something literally chokes you from doing it. Like sometimes you might think, hey, I sound crazy. Like I listen to myself, like I sound like I'm babbling. No, I got to get that out of my mind because if somebody received it, how's somebody receiving babble? You understand? So I have like even as much of abundance I have, there's always going to be something trying to doubt my abundance. There's always going to be something trying to get into your storehouse. Someone, something is always going to try to get in your storehouse. That's why you must protect it. You must keep it locked. Only open it when it's time to distribute whatever you're going to give from your storehouse. My grandmother was a hoard, but it wasn't all junk. I'm still confused about what to keep or throw away. Well, Diane, I suggest whatever you think is going to be a help to somebody, you keep it until you are able to give it to that person that needs that, whatever it is. Anything else, you're going to have to get rid of it. You're going to have to use your wisdom that you have and be able to separate the two. Of course, we send the condolences to, you and your family. But even if you're not, like right now, if you're not even ready to do, I don't know if you have a time limit or like if you got to clean out her apartment or her house or whatever. But if you have a time period, do your best, to have a pace to where you can be ready to situate that situation. You know what I mean? But you do know, like I said, you do know your grandmother will want somebody to have it because she's no longer here. But you gotta believe that that's what she wants. As far as the things that she would want somebody to have, but she never got the time to do it. But even with that, when if she was a hoarder, she was holding on to it just for somebody else. She thought she might could use it. So she might now think that somebody else could use it and she's gonna want you to give it to somebody that can use it. But you're gonna have to, decide what's useful for somebody and what's not gonna be useful. And discernment is in your storehouse too. Understanding is in your storehouse. You have all of these things because you have an abundance of it. Just take your time. You know, if you got to grieve, let's grieve first. If it's too hard for you to do right now, take your time. I mean, like I said, unless they got a time limit, you gotta, go back into your storehouse and find the strength to be able to do it within that time frame. But if there's no time limit, you take your time and then go ahead and do what you got to do. Once again, my condolences to you and your family on the loss of your grandmother. But that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. Like even just that little simple conversation that comes from the storehouse, the love and compassion for other people. That's something that should be in every storehouse. The storehouse is not just going to have one item in it. It's going to have many different things in it. And all of us have that in our storehouses. So, it's like I said, it's just up to us to understand and find what we have and how to give it to those that need it. We already have it. Like that's why we have a storehouse, because we understand that it's already with us. Now it's time for the abundance to give to somebody else. So, I don't think there's any questions or, things like that. But, I just want to thank everybody that, actually took the time to hear me and my viewpoints of you guys being a storehouse. I truly believe that this is not an opinion for me. Well, it may be an opinion, but I just I know that you guys are storehouses. That's the word, knowing and believing. We ain't believing no more. Belief is underneath knowing. So I know you guys are a storehouse. I need you guys to understand that you're a storehouse. And I also need you guys to understand that when you're ready to open your storehouse, there's going to be people in need and they're going to be ready to receive what you have for them. So with that being said, you're welcome, Diane. As always, if you guys, need somebody, to be there, if I'm the last person, I'm available. If you need somebody, just to talk or whatever, I'll find a way, to reach out to you guys. And like I said, I'm just available. Kindness is in the storehouse too. Love is in the storehouse. And I believe God gave me that in abundance to be there for other people. So, just no problem, Word. I appreciate you, Word. You know what I mean? Like you you're an awesome guy. The 9% is awesome as well. You get a salute just for your willingness to be available for people to be able to collaborate. That takes time. To your patience with all of that combination, to work with different people. Not attitude. I don't want to say attitude because that might sound negative, but to work with different attributes. That could be a handful, but you make the hardest things look simple. That's in your storehouse. That's why, they say you're 33. I agree with that. You are willing to sacrifice for the better good. That's what I'm striving for as well. That's why I take the time to make these lives. And I don't care if I get, one person, 21 people, whatever it is. Like I told you, all you got to do is reach one. If you reach one person and if it helped one person, you did your part. And so, with that being said, everybody, I want everybody to have a great Monday morning. For some of y'all heading out west, so y'all might just be starting. Continue to be a blessing. And just remember, all of us are a storehouse. Realist, come on. I was getting ready to end. Stop that, man. You listen. The mess, listen. If you clean the mess. Oh, I was about to say realist, don't start, man. I'm about to end this thing. Y'all listen. I told you I want to see the pay-per-view. Y'all just might as well get that out, get that off, and make it happen. But now I understand the message will always get out regardless. I truly agree with you, and I appreciate you. I truly appreciate you. You know your patience with me getting through this. You stuck it out with me today, and I appreciate that. I really do. So like I said, with that, and then just remember, guys, you guys are a storehouse. Continue to be a blessing to those that are in need. Y'all have a good Monday.